If you guys didn't know, I am a gamer. And it means that I sit at home all day, Mountain Dew on my right, chips on my left, blaming the losses on lag when I have perfect 100 FPS.
Stream sniping. What an idiot! How stupid can you be?
But in all seriousness, no matter how cancerous some parts of the gaming community might be, video games will always have a soft spot in my heart. And I'm sure I'm not the only one in this sentiment. Gaming has amazingly shaped the culture of not only YouTube, but the entire internet. Games allowed us to be characters we could never be, enjoying freedom in any way we please. I've played games since I was a child, and I think it is a passion that slowly developed over time. So I want to go through the games I played, loved, and grew up with, that I think had an actual impact on my life, and that I think many of you, if you haven't played it already, would enjoy. And in doing so, I'll analyze and explain the things that make them such great games. When I was a little child, the first experience with games came from a Club Penguin style online game called Happy World. It had all the typical online game tropes, minigames, online interactions, and microtransactions. Other experiences with gaming included, my dad playing a Korean knockoff of Call of Duty, and my grandpa playing a Korean knockoff of some casino game. So yeah, it wasn't the best start. But then everything changed when my parents bought the Nintendo Wii for us. My parents first got it to encourage us to exercise by playing Wii Fit. But yeah, I just shook the Wii remote and won every single game. It's like the easiest game ever.
I can't catch up to her!
However, two Wii games that I have a soft spot for in my heart are New Super Mario Bros. Wii and Super Mario Galaxy. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was what truly introduced me to video games. It was a fun, simple platformer game with enough uniqueness and fun not to get boring through each level. However, my favorite Wii game of all time might be Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is a 3D platform game. As Mario, you get to roam around various galaxies across the universe, retrieving stars to locate and rescue Princess Peach. It was the first 3D game I've played, and I fell in love with it. Even now, it's one of my favorite nostalgia-inducing games. Each level felt like its own unique adventure, with its own puzzles, enemies, bosses, and stories waiting to unfold. The game is also surprisingly challenging. Many of the levels require focus and multiple attempts before actually beating the boss and completing the level. It's not just a game for kids, its remarkable level design truly immerses you, whoever you are, into the world while providing an actual fun challenge. And the sensation of progression is strong in this game. As you collect stars and beat bosses, you light up more parts of your world and you learn new things. Not to mention, the music is phenomenal. It matches with each world so well, from the triumphant and adventurous levels to the more calmer and peaceful ones. If I had to describe this game in one word, it would be atmosphere. The story, setting, characters, and music all align together perfectly to create such a wonderful atmosphere. Looking back, the absolute beauty of Super Mario Galaxy really helped me fall in love with video games. At this time, I also got into Club Penguin. While it's not one of my favorite games, like most people, it holds a dear place in my childhood. Sadly, I was not a member since I was poor, so I could never buy the membership and I could never buy all the fancy attire. I couldn't even play the extra levels on Aqua Grabber. Like, do you know how much I wanted those pearls? But even with that, I was still a master penguin. I was really rich. I had lots of coins, mostly because I could never spend them in the first place. However, after that, I encountered one of the greatest games to ever exist. Roblox. Minecraft is one of those games where it's practically a legend. I started playing at around version 1.7, 1.8, and the freedom I possessed was insane to me. I could build whatever I want and do whatever I want. Of course, as a little child, I would run out of caves whenever I heard an ambient cave sound or a zombie. In fact, I was such a wuss, I could barely mine iron, and I don't think I've ever legitimately mined diamonds in survival mode until I played again a few years ago.
Woohoo! We have diamonds. We have diamonds. We have diamond. What do you mean stop? Look at all. Where the f***'s the diamonds?
But as a kid, Minecraft introduced me to the endless possibilities of video games and the striking peacefulness you can experience from them. I think beyond all the adventures, the mining, the PvP, the most satisfying parts of Minecraft is calmly building a house, your dream house, as the beautiful ambient soundtrack plays in the background. It's moments like these that put this game as the best-selling game of all time. The feeling of infinite freedom, delivered in such a soothing way, is what drew so many people into the game. And through the years, the community around Minecraft has grown at such an unfathomable way. The Minecraft community stretched the unlimited possibilities that was already in the game into something somehow even bigger. Now there's a community around PvP, building, redstone, mods, and so much more. At its core, Minecraft is just another sandbox building game. But with its simplicity and atmosphere, combined with its amazing community, the game has attracted so many people across all ages and lifestyles. And if that's not a proof of an amazing game, I'm not sure what is. A few years passed. I really didn't try out any new games. I stopped playing Minecraft for a while because it was at the point where it wasn't very cool. I began to play mobile games, which I know, okay, roast me all you want, but they're not that bad, alright? They're not that bad. I will admit though, they really didn't give me the same sense of joy and passion that Minecraft or Super Mario Galaxy had. I dabbled in some new games, League of Legends, Fortnite, PUBG, and some others, but they never really impacted me so much. And then one day, I came across Undertale. By now, if you haven't heard of Undertale, or at least Funny Skeleton Man, you must be living under a rock. But I've heard some great things about the game, and for the first time in a few years, I decided to try out a new game. Undertale is a fascinating game, and one of my all-time favorites. It's an RPG, but it breaks the tropes of RPGs by letting you get through the game in a pacifist fashion. Now, if you never played Undertale, I encourage you to play it before I spoil everything, because trust me, it is totally worth the money and the time. Anyways, Undertale begins as your character falls down a mountain into the world of monsters. Monsters who've been trapped and lived in the mountain for generations, and are living with the hope that one day they may be free. The amazing thing about Undertale is it breaks the sense of freedom that most games provide. What I mean by that is your actions have actual consequences. When you kill a monster for some XP or gold, it's a monster with a family and friends. When you kill certain characters, the entire world and all the other characters can feel the effects of your sins. If you're reckless or heartless, you can push the other characters into despair and hopelessness, destroying everything they've been working for. And if you're curious to see what happens if, well, everybody dies, you will feel the effects. And at that point, you will face the consequences. No amount of righteousness, no amount of good deeds and pacifism will ever cure the unforgettable deeds you have committed. On the other side of the coin, if you play with mercy, you can enjoy the hilarious stories and personalities of all the characters, going on dates, solving puzzles, and eventually freeing them of their underground bondage. And the bond and friendship you form with these characters is one of the main reasons Undertale is praised so much. Not only that, the music is amazing, and it is one of, if not the best game soundtrack I've ever listened to. Even as I write and edit this video, I'm going to be listening to the Undertale soundtrack. Each song is filled with character and emotion, delicately painting the setting and the mood of the game. Every moment has life into it, whether you're fighting frogs or playing in a game show or just simply enjoying the beauty of the world. Finally, this game introduced me to fourth wall breaks. Certain characters can interact with the game itself, reloading certain save files, acknowledging your immortality, and even breaking the game. Fourth wall breaks are profound when done well, and I can safely say that Undertale has done so. When you realize that your in-game stats reflect the level of your violence, you feel the weight of your actions. And a game that makes you feel a sense of morality and regret through fourth wall breaks is truly a game done well. Going on the metagame train, the next amazing game that I played was Doki Literature Club. Now I know, you can call me a simp all you want, but the reason I played this game is because of my love and respect for surprising stories in the form of video games and not because, well, yeah. By the way, put your favorite Doki characters in the description. Do you like Monica, or Crazed Psychopath, or the short one, or Pyrocynical's wife?
I gently opened the door.
So guys, we did it. We reached 250,000 subscribers, 250,000 subscribers, and still growing. The fact that we've reached this number in such a short amount of time.
By the way, more spoilers. Play Doki if you haven't already. It's free and it's amazing and you do not want it to be spoiled for you. Doki Literature Club looks like a dating simulator at first. You join a literature club and you form relationships with the 4 girls in the club. And the core mechanic of the game is choosing words to write poems that hopefully your favorite character likes. It seems pretty simple enough, and unsurprisingly, the first 3 hours of gameplay is quite normal. You read dialogue, write poems, and once in a while you make an important choice. But things start to go wrong. When your best friend Sayori commits suicide, the entire game breaks down. The game tries to continue without Sayori, but with a key part of the story missing, the story begins to become more and more horrifying. And surprise, Monica, the president of the literature club, becomes self-aware and begins to mess with the characters, amplifying all their worst traits, so that she can finally be with you. Not you, the character, but you, the player. Finally, she deletes the rest of the world and forces you to love her for eternity until, well, you delete her. The game restarts without Monica. But then now, Sayori becomes self-aware, and when Monica realizes that Sayori has become self-aware, her remaining conscious deletes the game entirely. It's a really innovative story in the video game genre. And honestly, Doki is kind of the game that's really hard to explain to other people. Some people hesitate to even call this a video game, preferring visual novel or interactive story. And at first, most people think it's a dating sim because it's supposed to imitate a dating sim. But here's the thing about Doki. It's still a fun game without all the crazy game-breaking stuff at the latter half. As horrifyingly amazing the latter half of the game is, the characters and the interactions in the first half are still very fun and cute. I think that's what makes this game so impactful. It's not a metagame for the sake of being a metagame. The fact that the characters are so well written, filled with character and their own quirks, is what makes the player engaged and involved with the character and the world. And why, when it starts to fall apart, is that much more impactful. This game does horror and meta right. It's not forced or inappropriate. It waits for you to get comfortable and then throws a fastball straight into your face. The pure shock and terror you experience when you find a seemingly happy and cheery Sayori hanging there as the game around her just completely breaks down is by far one of the greatest horror scenes I've ever seen in the game. And the game's descent to madness with Sayori just completely erased now is slow enough that it's not overdone or confusing, but subtle and impactful enough to make you very uncomfortable and anxious. One of the craziest parts of this game, and the reason why so many people love this game, is the fact that the files themselves, yeah, I'm talking about the files on your computer, are an important part of the game mechanic. Monica, the self-aware one, deletes certain character files to be with you. And as you progress in the game, you have to end up deleting Monica's own file to reach the true ending. That's some next level meta gameplay. And above it all, the game addresses you as the player, not as a character. The chilling monologue Monica has with the player is perfectly crafted as the climax of the story. As a game, Doki seems to offer just simple fun. It actually gives a horrifying and compelling story that made it the famous game it is today. And after all is done, the game ends. And Monica keeps her promise that she made to you early in the game. Before all the chaos, before all the trouble, she plays a simple, sweet piano song for you. She thanks you for trying to make the characters happy, even if the game itself has no happiness. And in a bittersweet ending, the game is deleted. After all those meta games, I start to go to more regular games. One game that I played often, even before all these other games, was a mobile game called Polytopia, and I actually really encourage you guys to play it if you guys have the time. It's a really fun and simplistic turn-based strategy game where you harvest resources, research technology, build cities, and raise an army to conquer the world. And I really liked it, but for me, it was at times a bit too simple and repetitive. It was a good game to spend maybe a few hours on, but after a while it just gets a little bit boring. However, in my search for better games, I struck a gold mine in the world of turn-based strategy games. That's right, talking about the famous Gandhi nuke game, Civilization 6. Civilization 6 has the same concept as Polytopia. In fact, I'd say Polytopia is the simple mobile version of Civilization 6. The game begins in the ancient era, with you being one of the many leaders around the map. You must raise a glorious empire to achieve victory, whether by spreading your religion, being the most prominent culture, or straight up just nuking everyone that gets in your way. The thing that I love and respect about this game is the amount of detail and historical accuracy that goes into the game. As you progress through the eras and develop new technologies, you feel as though you're experiencing history. You can set your own government policies, build infrastructure, make allies, and use diplomacy. And there's so much more things you can do in the game. It's so detailed and filled with information that most people who start out in this game would definitely be overwhelmed by it. I mean, just look at the first image that greets you when you start a game. Like, why is there like 5 different categories of items that you can get? Like, what are all these troops about? Like, when I first started playing, I was completely confused. The thing is, as you learn, and as you see your empire grow, you feel as though you're a leader. You feel what it feels like to be in the shoes of these great historical leaders. You feel satisfied when you see all of you built. The cities, the infrastructure, and the wonders that represent your power and might. One thing that might turn some people away from this game is, as I mentioned earlier, the complexity of this game for especially newer players, as well as the long amount of time the game takes. After all, you're going through the entirety of human history. You're pretty much experiencing over 6,000 years of history, war, governments, and technology in one game. However, that's what makes this game so great. As someone who likes history, this game is so filled with historical events, ideas, characters, and the like, that I can't help but respect the amount of research and effort the game received. At first, I was really skeptical about the giant price tag, but now that I play it, I can tell you it is worth every penny. For anyone who likes building their own world, learning new playstyles, and exploring possibilities, this game is a perfect way to simply have fun, relax. I think that around this time, video games are getting a bit more taboo, or at least looked down upon. And sometimes I understand. Some games are just made for money. EA. Others are inappropriate, and others just have a really cancerous fan base. Hey, even Undertale was infamous for having a really cancerous fan base. But despite all that, video games, when done right, feel almost like art. They have a story, an atmosphere, a feeling that can really hit deep with anyone. And it's so much more personal because now you're a part of the story and you're a part of the game. And you're the one experiencing the fun and challenging, as well as the bittersweet and peaceful. So, what makes video games great? There's not one specific answer. However, if a game can make you feel engaged and fall in love with the setting, the challenges, the characters, and the atmosphere, I'd say that's a game done right. For a lot of people, I'm sure they have their own share of games that invoke these feelings for them, that truly impacted them. If you do, please do tell me in the comments below. I would really love to experience them for myself. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this little, I don't know, video essay. It's something new I'm trying out, and I just wanted to kind of talk about things that I liked. If you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much. If you did enjoy the video, please do smash the like button, or don't, it really doesn't matter. So I think you should subscribe. But yeah, subscribe and watch my other videos. And please watch them fully so I get better watch time. Goodbye.